Hello, welcome back to the Good, Bad and Stupid News. It's Tuesday the 3rd of September, available on iTunes and all other good podcast sites. I've uploaded a few more, I can't remember the names now. Hopefully Spotify as of today, and YouTube if you're watching it on the video. So we're going to get straight on and talk about the main news was between yesterday and today was Boris Johnson coming out and giving a speech in Downing Street. Not only that, the other main news that was linked to that was that they've had a new Jack Russell puppy delivered yesterday. I think that was a clever ploy, because whilst everybody's getting angry and about to scream abuse and feel sort of anxious and anxiety when he's coming out and giving his speech, they come along with this cute little Yorkshire Terrier puppy. You're not going to see this if you're on the podcast, but this cute little puppy has come and delivered to Downing Street. And so all of a sudden everyone goes, and just their mind switches over and they start feeling all, what's the word, all loving and doting on this little dog. So they forget all about Brexit then, and he can just say what he wants, and everyone just missed it and don't know what was actually said. It actually reminded me, funnily enough, the cat's going to be pissed off, I imagine. There's a Downing Street cat. He's not going to be happy about that little doggy turning up. So, but I think that's his missus' influence there. We're having a dog, that's it. I wonder if he's going to have to walk it or not. That's the funny thing, isn't it? When you see like a big guy who's bought his girlfriend a cute little dog, thinking it was like, and she's all loving it and stuff, and the next thing you know, they're having to walk it. I've seen it before about big muscle guys walking a chihuahua and that, and you can see they look pissed off. They do not want to be doing it. So think tomorrow, buy your girlfriend a dog that you want to have. There you go, problem solved. Buy a Rottweiler or a Doberman or whatever suits your personality. Otherwise, you're going to be pissed off for at least 10-15 years walking the dog that you wish you never bought. Anyway, what reminded me about the Boris Johnson coming out and speak, I don't know why it just reminded me of this. He came out and gave this sort of crash bang wallop speech, didn't he? Which is kind of like an emergency talk situation based on what's going to happen today with the voting and whatever. I don't know why it come into my mind. There's a film called Corky Romano. I don't know if anybody's seen that, but it just reminded me of this guy who was going to give a speech at a school to a load of kids. He's a copper, and he basically there was a big bag of cocaine, and he was tugging at it with the dog. There was a dog. What's it called? A sniffer dog, and he's tugging. The dog's got it, and he's got it, or whatever. And the bag splits open, and all the cocaine goes in his face and the dog's face. The dog darts off, and his eyes are like swollen, big eyes like that. And straight away he has to go in to give this speech to the kids, and he just talks a load of shit for about 10 minutes, and he's just like. Really funny if you've ever seen it, but he's just talking to these kids, and he's off his head and on this cocaine, and he's like giving this sort of fucking out there speech, and that just popped into my head when Boris Johnson came out to give that sort of nonsensical speech that he came out with last night. I don't know if he's trying to baffle everybody, but he's coming out fighting, isn't he? He's damned if he does and damned if he don't, doesn't he? Because it kind of needs that position to sort of crowbar a position out of the EU, but then at the same time, if that doesn't happen, everybody else has to defend what's going to happen if he fucking doesn't get it, where the shit's going to hit the fan. Apparently, it will for a lot of people. But somebody needs to defend them. He's going for he can't win one way or the other, unfortunately. So that one's just going to fucking roll on. They've got programs based on there's a program last night about a very British coup and it was all the different sort of people to and fro, and it's so split. You could have an argument in your own fucking living room, couldn't you? You could literally. I remember seeing a guy the other month, right in the middle of about a year or so ago. But the guy said him and his missus had split up because he voted Brexit and she'd voted to stay. And he said that was and it was like, he was upset and everything. He was giving his speech in his cafe, and I thought, I'm sure that's not the. It might have been a final factor, as in like you're a this and you're a that sort of thing. But I'd imagine you've been an arsehole for a long time during the rest of the relationship. It can't just be that decision. You can't. I'm sure you're not in a loving place, and then all of a sudden, you what? You voted to leave? Right, that's it. Fuck this. Give me back my fucking flowers. I'm off. No, you've not been getting on for quite some time. That was just a final factor, wasn't it? I don't know who made the decision, so I'm not going to pick and choose sides. But anyway, rolling on. Let's move on to something else. Kristen Stewart, K Stew. She's never going to get rid of that shit nickname, is she? K Stew, because she went out with. Who she go out with? I don't know. No. Well, her name's Kristen Stewart, so that stands for K Stew. But there was something to do with that Robert Pattinson, wasn't it? I don't know how the fuck that works in the nickname. Anyway, she's come out saying in an interview about she's been told, because she's got a girlfriend or whatever, and she's been told that she would never get a superhero movie because she doesn't do herself any favours, because she walks around holding hands with her girlfriend in public, and she's basically been told flat out that she wouldn't get that kind of film because of the mentality of that old school mentality or something or other. But I mean, that's just pathetic, isn't it? Somebody's literally saying that to her. I think what should happen now is basically somebody should read that and then go, oh no, tell you what, I'll go totally against that and create a superhero movie that the main cast or character is a lesbian, and all of a sudden there's a role opened up. Why not? It's like it's not exactly fucking cutting edge anyway, is it? It's like it's not exactly. They're talking like it's like the 1930s or something, when it's like, oh God, there's a girl walking out hand in hand with another girl. It's kind of like you don't blink if you see something like somebody walking hand in hand with another girl, So I don't get that, but at the same time, so look out for that sometime soon. You heard it here first. There's going to be a superhero lesbian model coming out soon, film model that is. Or lesbian model, either way, or either or. So we're waiting for that film to come out. Whoever's, got who's behind the actresses and sort of going to stand up for people in Hollywood. You can't just do it all here on this podcast. Nobody's even listening to these, so we've got to, punch up. Light aircraft pilot says he was buzzed. I don't know what buzzed means, but he was flying a light aircraft when he reported a 6 foot long flying pink inflatable pig. And he had to report. He thought it was a drone at first, but then he looked, and then I don't think this pig has been actually found. So nobody knows where or who or whatever, or whether it was like just a case of him. Was it something? Flying pigs? What's the thing when you're saying if pigs could fly? Or was he just fucking hallucinating or what? He saw a flying pig anyway. Or somebody told him a lie. Or maybe he's telling a lie. He's telling a porker. He thinks he saw a flying pig. Or he's just making a lie so he could get a few days off, because he said it stressed him out and he had to fucking swerve this big inflatable pig. If the pig flew up a little bit longer, it'd become Pigs in Space, wouldn't it? Pigs in Space. Remember that off the Muppets? Some of you might not be old enough to know that, but that was hilarious. I loved the Muppets growing up. Anyway, more on that another time. My Muppets fantasies. A teenage boy has gone blind. Well, bringing us down again now, and teenage boy has gone blind after partially deaf after living off chips, sausages, and Pringles for 10 years. So all of you out there with a shit diet, or who live off that kind of fucking chips and sausages, that looks horrible, doesn't it? It just looks like a plate of grease. Anyway, he hasn't gone completely blind, but I don't think he's gone completely blind. He's got an impairment now, but because he wouldn't eat, his mum it's not his parents' fault, because his mum used to make him sandwiches and give him apples and fruit and all that, but he wouldn't eat it. He would only eat the sausages and the Pringles. That's because you still think it's food, don't you? You see that, or kids see that, and it's food as far as they're concerned. But really, if you really look at it, it's no food, because it's got nothing in it that's any good. So it's actually just junk. It's a load of shit. There's no like nutritional benefit in it. Maybe the potato underneath the fat, but as a kid who's uneducated, you just see that as that's food. I'm going to eat it. It's food. It's okay. But obviously not. I mean, and most times you are getting away with it, but at the same time, he hasn't, because it's giving blindness and deaf, which you wouldn't even think, would you? You could get that off your diet. So there you go. Bear that in mind next time you're down the chip shop. When you wake up in the morning, you can, with blurry eyes, you can go, oh, fuck you now, it's that Savoy and chips I had last night. Nothing to do with the tequila and the 10 pints of lager or whatever else that you were drinking. It's the fucking Savoy. I've gone blind. Because you'd be relating back to that story. That's the thing, you read things and it sticks in your mind, then, and you go, fuck. Maybe that's me. I was just looking at the car here that Kevin Hart, the comedian, crashed his car, didn't he? And I'm only talking about it because he survived and he's going to make a full recovery. So if you haven't heard that, he had loads of back injuries and he's going to have surgery and stuff like that. But the car is like, you know, like when you take a car to the scrapyard and they sort of turn it into a box. It looks like that. Well, it's flattened like that. You're not going to be able to see this again podcast. Sorry, you have to watch the videos. What do you want me to do about it? There's a... Look over that. It's just flattened. So to walk up... He hasn't walked away. He's got back injuries. But to come out of that alive is lucky. So although he's injured, you've got to like try and look at the positive and go, I'm very, very, very lucky. Even though you're not, because you've got the injuries and whatever. But yeah, anyway, so he's going to make a recovery. Let's go lighten the mood again. Bradford Elvis is all shook up by getting a singing ban. An Elvis impersonator has been fined $7,500 for belting out the King's hits in the small hours. Well, why is he doing it in the small hours? Do it in the... He's probably another job, isn't he? Because I've met an Elvis impersonator who did a comedy gig once, and there was me, but the headliner was an Elvis impersonator. So me and a couple of other comedians were, what's the word, supporting, if you like, Elvis. But this was Elvis from Surrey. He was a painter and decorator by day, and he was Elvis by the weekend. And he goes to these conventions and like he's won loads of Elvis competitions out of like, he goes, there's these things in like Las Vegas and that where loads of Elvises, and you like become the number one Elvis, like the Olympics. You got the first, second and third, like get a medal or whatever. Crazy world, because they all looked very, very similar, and there was like black ones and everything. There's like Chinese and all sorts of stuff. But this guy, he's been given a noise abatement order because his neighbours have complained, and they've threatening to seize. He's also had his recording equipment seized, and he said, I think the neighbours just don't like Elvis. They probably just don't like Elvis at 3 o'clock in the morning, do they? He looks the part there, look at that. He looks like he's on stage there, but then if you look to the right, you can see his sofa. And he's got his, for those who can't see, he's got a big banner up with Elvis in flashing lights kind of thing. And then you can see there's a TV behind him and the sofa and everything. So that killed the image a little bit. Yeah, that's in his living room. So that's how he goes on the stage. But Yeah, he looks the part, but do it in the daytime or fucking come home in your lunch break or something or other. Saying that, even in the daytime, it'd piss you off, and it just somebody screaming. It actually, if you liked Elvis, it would ruin Elvis for me. If I like some Elvis songs, that would just fucking piss me right off. I'd end up being put off Elvis. So there's nothing there to say he's any good. There's nothing there to say he's fucking, he's probably killing it. Anyway, he looks the part, so just keep your mouth shut and just do some photo shoots for now. Airbnb, the cheapest Airbnb in the country is a one-person tent in a garden. That's just taking the piss in it. The lodging costs £9 a night and comes with a sleeping bag, airbed and a plug socket. Next to it is a loo tent and a cat litter style toilet. Picture there. It's basically just the shittest tent even that you've ever seen. I've always had the idea of listing a tent. I wonder if anybody's booked it. I mean, if people are booking it, then fair enough. I guess there's like an inflatable toilet tent next to it. Well, people want to. It's kind of bridging the gap, I suppose, between couch surfing, which is kind of like a weird thing where people go and sleep on somebody else's sofa that you don't know, and having to pay money because the people who are sofa surfing, they ain't got no money, so they have to do it as a means to an end. So they try and sofa surf around places to get by, but because they can't afford a room. So that's £9. So people probably would go for it, Saying that, there's a friend of mine who got an Airbnb a few weeks ago, got pissed out of his head, and he was staying at this family house apparently, and I don't know if he's listening to this. I'm not going to name him, but he'll know. But he stayed in a family house, but when he woke up, he's obviously gone home 3-4 in the morning because he was out drinking and stuff. And he woke up in the morning drunk in his pants on their sofa. So they had to shaking him, going, "Your room's upstairs," So that is embarrassing, and the family probably thinking, "What the good job." Hopefully, he wasn't one of those people who accidentally piss. People who do that, who've got don't know where the toilet is and stuff. I'm lucky in the sense that I've never actually embarrassed myself that way. But he's woke up on somebody's Airbnb, so better off out in the tent he was. But yeah, I mean, I suppose if you're passing through and you're roughing it and stuff, there you go. Oh fuck! I've got a courtyard out the back. Give me an idea. What's this? Anthea. Everyone notice Anthea Turner's in all? Anthea Turner's getting married again. She's on my podcast now, or video. Anthea Turner's getting married again. But she was in all the papers yesterday. Anthea Turner's getting married again. Anthea Turner's getting married. Anthea Turner's getting married again. We don't care, but they're back in the paper again today because her fellow went berserk. So someone's straight away. As soon as you bring that out, somebody goes straight away and starts dishing the dirt, don't they? Somebody's come out, rang up the papers. Well, Anthea Turner's new fella, he went berserk taking magic mushrooms once, and ended up biting a cop. And he was on New Year's Eve, and he was on shrooms, and he felt strange, went outdoors and started assaulting passers-by who tried to help because he was distressed. So some bitter people out there, aren't they? So basically, all the papers yesterday carried the news. Anthea Turner's found love, third time lucky, marriage. I was thinking, is it just trying to slow news day? And all of a sudden, somebody's pissing on her chips by slagging off her fella by ringing up, going, "Well, he's an arsehole. He fucking ringing. He was doing magic mushrooms once, and he was lost his head." So embarrassing him. So someone's got an axe to grind with him. He's a tycoon, so he's probably had somebody over money wise, probably. Jeff Goldblum strutting his stuff in a leopard print shirt and zebra trousers. Good setup. Leopard shirt. It actually looks quite good. A zebra shirt, I said then, didn't I? A zebra trousers and a leopard skin shirt. Or you could call him the Lebra. There you go. He's dressed like a Lebra. Does that work out? Yeah. Well, you missed his face there, so there you go. There's Jeff Goldblum. Looking the part. He's just, all he does is goes to festivals and stuff at the minute. He's been photographed at a few different places. Living it up, loving himself, loving it up, having a good time. Fucking, that's what it's about. Don't have to work your ass off if you're a millionaire. Just fucking, he's still in the papers. He's still, if he's up there and he's getting photographed, he's still raising his profile, isn't he? So he don't even have to go off radar. He's probably still getting offers, job offers. And somebody else who's doing it for the opposite reason, he's just getting photographed, just partying. Then you got Mel B, who, it's not even an accident, just posts a photo of her naked in a, what is it? Dressing room while she's at the behind the scenes of a brutally honest evening. So why would you have to put a photo of you naked on it? Well, why not also, but what's, you know, there's a dog on her lap as well. The dog's like, hey, God, do we have to? You know what I mean? For God's sake, is there any need? You know what I mean? You've already got your show, you've got your audience. A nude snap with her hand covering the. I'll show you. So there you go. It's not nude. I'm not flashing. She's got her bits covered, but it's kind of like a pointless photo. What's she saying there? Oh, forgot to put my clothes on. Wink, wink. I don't know what the benefit of that photo is. So anyhow, Frank Skinner has described Simon Cowell's new face as a bit Slipknot. That's quite funny because Slipknot, he's got those masks, hasn't he, where his like face is all cut up and like sewn back together kind of thing. So the comic poked fun at the talent show judge, comparing slimmed down Simon to the scary US metal rockers. And he's taking the mick out of him. He's obviously good for a joke then, because he's saying he's my friend, he's my mate, but he's ripping into me, taking the right piss. It's the kind of thing you do in the pub. You know, you'd take the piss out of your mate in the pub, but he's doing it fucking on the in print here. So obviously, it must be good for a laugh if they're still mates afterwards, because he's going. His eyes look like he's juggling with his nose because they were all at different levels. And he does actually. He looks like he's pissed out his head, Simon Cowell. I can't show you that picture; it's too small. But anyway, we've talked about Simon Cowell's cosmetic surgery in the past. So whatever makes you happy makes us happy. Laughing at the jokes about it as well. So everybody's a winner, right? We're going to whiz through the last few bits here. I should have done this one earlier. Two thieves who raided the takings from a blind busker's guitar case have been jailed. How long did they get? Jailed for 26 months. That's low, isn't it, though? There's a busker, he's blind, and he's got his thing out, and they came along and sort of nicked his money out of his hat. So Alan Fothergill and Gary Williams, named and shamed. And there's pictures of it. Somebody's got it on pictures, have they? Yeah, somebody's got it on photographs. So, by the person taking the photo, well, the person taking the photo has obviously helped in the fact that they got nicked. But he could have just gone, "Oi, what are you doing?" And then they wouldn't have been able to do it, would they? So it's a fucking long-winded thing. So if you're taking the photo, you could have got involved and gone, "Oi, fucking leave his money alone." Because the blind man apparently could hear him, and he looks like he's bending down there trying to stop him. But there you go. Fucking arseholes, aren't they? It's like, that's the lowest of the low. How much did he have in there? About £4. Probably was about £4, I think it said. So there you go. You'll never live that down. You've been put in the paper, your photos there. Embarrassing. It's not even worth it for the embarrassment, is it really? A couple who celebrated their 35-year wedding anniversary at a Coral Bookies proved they really are lucky in love. They spent went to their local branch of the chain with a bottle of bubbly And I don't know if that's allowed. Are you allowed to drink in the bookies? I don't think you are. You have to check the small print on that. You've won £200, so you might have to give that back. They apparently had a flutter with £200 budget, and they won £200. So they came up £200 and they celebrated. So we like to gamble, and I thought, why not? We raised the glass outside. Oh no, we couldn't drink inside. They'd have to drink it outside. Anyway, that's classy. That's but I like that, though, isn't it? You know what I mean? You got that's the far end of the scale, isn't it? You got the other end where the people are spending a fortune in the best restaurant and doing it there. And some people can see that as fake. And then these are at the other end, and they're fucking having a shindig at the Coral Bookies, you know. So something for everybody out there, whatever floats your boat. Right, last few. It's not very romantic though, is it, in the bookies? If you use that £200 now that you've just won, then go and do something a bit special. Then that's all right. You can't just leave it there. You can't just draw a line under it that we've won 200 quid at the bookies. Now we're going to get Savoy and chips on the way home, get pissed and then wake up blind, like we said earlier on. Right, going to finish up on these last couple of things here. RSPCA officers were called to reports of a snake at a house, turned up to find a 3-inch caterpillar. So some people get scared. A caterpillar, that's quite big though, isn't it, for a caterpillar? I thought they were going to say turned up and it was one of those draft excluders. That'd have been funnier if you turned up to fucking catch like a. I remember the other week there was somebody called for a snake, and I was PCA, and they got the snake, whatever the snake was, it come from behind the cooker, and it was a fucking dirty sock. Was it behind the cooker? It was under the bed. There was a snake under the bed, and it was a dirty sock. So fucking hell, that's hilarious. Peaky Blinders has sparked a 26% rise in tourism to Birmingham since the BBC Gangster series started in 2013. That's good. I'm from Birmingham. More tourism, and it's good because I was saying that all the things in the Peaky Blinders, they're all true places, the true pub and whatever. I went to have a look at the pub, the Garrison, which is the main pub, and it's fucking shut down. Come on, get it together. The Garrison needs to be reopened, and the Garrison pub in the namesake, which is what they I think they use is the pub that he owned. In the one in Birmingham, which is the real pub, is actually shut. And it was on the tour, so come on, get it together, get that place reopened. That's fucking missing a trick there. Anyway, what we got here? Tuesday is the most productive day, but Friday is the least, with 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. the busiest hour, a poll of workers showed. Friday, I didn't used to do fuck all at work on a Friday. When I used to work in an office, it would just get through in it about 11 o'clock. That was the least busiest hour. I think 10 a.m. to 11 was the productive hour, because at 10 a.m. you would ring the baker or the sandwiches. Somebody would ring the shop to get the sandwiches and that, and then you'd wait. By about 11 they'd be delivered. Then everyone would just stop work and just fuck about for the rest of the day then. Sorry if you're my ex-boss, but I think you know I used to fuck about a lot. I think I had enough disciplinary hearings to prove that. Right, going to finish up on one more thing. Oh no, two more things. Drug pushers are selling chopping boards on eBay modified to help coke heads sniff lines. The panels costing £25 to £45. Fuck you know. Include grooves from which the powder can be easily snorted. They have been marketed as snuffboards to avoid rules getting banned. And what they say is, why make a mess and why make your hands smell of snuff? That's just like, you couldn't go on imagine going on Dragon's Den with that. You're creating something for a problem that's not there, is it? You've created a board that you can pour cocaine into little lines. It's not needed. It's never been needed for years of cocaine being around. They don't need. It's like a product that they've created for a problem that's not a problem. Anyway, what do I know? It's stupid. So they're not going to be on eBay for very long. So if you want one, get on there quick. Finish up on this. A worker has admitted driving a digger into a new hotel in a row over unpaid wages. I brought that up because that was funny. If you didn't see that, the guy who drove a digger up into the Travelodge and just ripped it all apart, and everybody else is outside grabbing their head and everything, and he just tore this. It's not the right thing to do, but it was fucking funny. It was a good video. He just smashed this fucking place apart because they wouldn't give him his wages. And I've had my wages ripped off before from somebody, and I couldn't do anything about it. So it was funny to see somebody who'd been told he ain't being paid, and he's gone, well, you ain't having your fucking hotel then, and he just destroyed the place and ran off. It was hilarious. So if you didn't see that video, search it out, Travelodge digger driver or whatever. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Going to see you again tomorrow. See you later. Bye.